All right. Well, welcome back to Two Guys Theorize. There it is. So now it's up. So welcome back to Two Guys Theorize. It's a My Bad Daysman's podcast. Basically, this is where me and one other person come and talk about something that's going on and our theories on what's going on and where it's going and that kind of thing. It's a lot less formal than the main podcast, but I'm your host, Sam the Man, the creator of My Dad's Basement. Pretty much everything nerdy you can think of. Movies, TV shows, video games, cartoons, action figures, you name it, man. I'm talking about it. Dungeons and Dragons, it's everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, wherever. But yeah, and this is my homeboy Will. We worked at GameStop years ago. I'm not gonna say how many years. But
15,
I was a young lad. I was about like 17 or 16 or so, and Will was one of the coolest guys I ever worked with, which is why we're still friends now, which is why he's here today. But yeah, Will, if you want to, man, go ahead and give a little intro about yourself, man, before we get into this Star Wars thing.
Hey, what's up? My name is Will, born and raised in Brooklyn. That's how you know I'm from Brooklyn, because that has to be one of the first things that we mention all the time. Even when I was in DC, like, yo, you sound like you from Brooklyn. I was like, yes, I am. Yes, I guess the accent never left, so thankfully for that. But yeah, this guy Sam is a great guy, great kid.
Yeah.
Great to see him mature into who he's become as a father, as a man. It's just a pleasure and an honor to know Sam and to be here today. Plus, shout out to my kids,
thank
my
you,
beautiful
man.
wife.
I truly appreciate you. And I mentioned this to you earlier, man, but you honestly are. Oh, most definitely, man. And even with that being said, you definitely are an inspiration to me as a father. You know what I mean? You've always been a dedicated dad, even back then, and seeing you now with your family just growing, man, and you getting married and finding the love of your life and everything. That's, for one, that's the most inspirational part. The fact that, like, yo, all right, like, I have a chance. Like, but yeah. Yeah, real quick, man, we'll just jump into it. The Ahsoka episodes, man. So what'd you think, real quick, before we start theorizing? What'd you think?
I thought it was probably some of the best Star Wars content that I've seen. The best start to any series: Clone Wars, Rebels, in the animated.
Oh yeah.
It was just, I put it right up there with the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, because that first scene where they come out and then you see
Okay.
the big battle overhead, it's like, wow, this is a great way to open up a movie. Everything that Ahsoka did was just on the money. This is why Dave Filoni is who he is. He knows how to get you. He knows how to do a slow build, but he knows when to be like, we got to get these people hooked up now. And that's why. And he directed. This is one of the few episodes that he actually directed. He wrote everything, but he directed the first two, or the first one.
Right. I was gonna say same thing with that first episode of Mandalorian. That was another one that kind of just like blew my mind when I saw it, and I was like, yo, like, this is all right. We're onto something here. But yeah, no, the episodes were good, man. And I am ashamed to say I have not watched Rebels in its entirety or Clone Wars in its entirety. I will say though, I have seen the important bits. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've seen all the mall stuff. Like,
the thing that Facebook puts in. The Facebook. That's how I got into it. That's how I just finished watching Clone Wars.
Right. And so that was my whole thing. Like, when the movie first came out, I went to the movie theater to go see that, and it was whack, right? So when the show came out, I was like, nah, I'm not getting into it. And then now seeing all the clips that I've been seeing, like, yo, like, I missed out on a whole lot. Like, this is fire. Like, this is dope. Like, so yeah, I kind of end up catching up later on. But yeah, based on that content and how good that stuff was, and Filoni being such a, you know what I mean, such a fan, and being so close to Lucas, you know what I mean, like that's pretty much the closest to any real canon that we're gonna get as far as, you know, Star Wars goes, because all that Kathleen Kennedy stuff, we're not gonna get into that. But one thing that we talked about earlier was this Merrick character. Me, and as I've been seeing online everywhere, pretty much everybody's convinced that this guy is Ezra. You made a good point saying that you don't think it's him, because if it was him, he was supposed to be in the unknown regions with Thrawn. So if they could get him back, why didn't they get Thrawn back? Which is a good point.
Yeah.
So
I understand people thinking that it's going to be Ezra, because that's what Disney has been doing with all their past heroes. They've made them all failures.
Right.
At some point, Harrison Luke Skywalker, Indiana Jones, old guy became a failure. Oh no, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're really Luke, just bro. Yeah, they're really disrespecting these guys, and then having a woman as the one to make everything right. Which, if it was done well, I wouldn't have a problem. But now this is just lazy writing.
Right.
It's just laziness. We're like, okay, let's make him a failure. And then we're going to have somebody, and then we're going to have the female character, Rey, Ahsoka. I guess, I don't know who that lady is in Indiana Jones, if it's his daughter, goddaughter, whatever that is.
Right. I didn't even see
it. She'll redeem, this character. I'm like, it's the same storyline. It's the same writing. Like, you just change the name, Luke, Indy, and Ezra now. So like that's why I understand the flow. But when I was looking, I was like, hold on, how are they spelling this man's name? Marrok. Wasn't and that's Star Killer's real name was Galen Merrick.
Galen Merrick. Like, yeah.
That would be pretty cool to see. Do the character a little justice. You brought up the great point of Anakin's apprentices against each other. I was like, oh my gosh, that would be that would be so good to see. And I find Star Killer, like, the video games were fun, but I really didn't envision him as in the lore like that, as Ahsoka is.
Right.
So I don't think he needs a big part. Yeah. People are like, oh, you got to give Star Killer this big thing. I was like, no, you can do a small, and then, because Disney's not going to want to spend the money, you can do a little TV, a little short, a little 6-episode thing explaining how he got there.
Or even just like a special. Just like a special.
2-hour special, and people like it.
Outside of Revan, Star Killer is probably, I would say, one of the most popular, extended universe characters. Of course, you can get into all the Sith Lords and all the people, in post Return of the Jedi era, like, Kyle Katarn and all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Mara Jade is the
no. Of course. Well, they
watch your mouth. Don't disrespect my girl.
I sent you that video, right, where they mentioned that like that her and Luke had a thing in the AI what if.
Yeah,
episode.
I got emotional when I watched that.
Nice. I don't know why they didn't. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, dog. Honestly, I watched both of them numerous times, and I want to say the first one, I definitely teared up a couple of times, like towards the end, because all I could think was like, damn, this is so good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is this good? Why is this good? And oh man, but
let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something real quick.
Go ahead.
I've read every EU book.
Okay.
From Splinter in a Mind's Eye from 1980 to the last book that came out before Disney bought it. It was a story of Han Solo, Leia, and Alana Solo, the granddaughter. And I was like, when I tell you those characters are amazing, and how Disney just disregarded all of them for this. I haven't read a new book since Disney took over. They try to create a different love interest for Luke, some fallen Jedi. I was like, wow, this is terrible. I'm not even reading that. They have some interesting characters in the new books. Like, in between. Right. I refuse to read it because I'm like, listen, I read like half of an excerpt, and I was like, yo, this doesn't make any sense. Like, no, I can't. I just
yeah.
I just can't. Like, Rise of the Red lightsabers were good, but
right. So I got into the old EU stuff through the video games, like the old, like, you know what I mean, like Jedi Academy, like, you know what I mean, like all that stuff, and
Jaden.
right, exactly. And then that's how I ended up kind of getting introduced into the books, as far as like, with the twins and Anakin Solo and the Yuzan Vong and all that kind of stuff. And I thought that stuff was great, like, you know what I mean, for someone who grew up with the original trilogy, like, you know what I mean, and pretty much right around, I think, when Phantom Menace was coming out, when the prequels were starting to come out, then I'm getting hip to the these games and these books. It was like mind opening, man. I was like, wow, like this universe really is like, as big as I imagined it to be. But yeah, back to Star Killer. If they were to bring him in, especially in Ahsoka, I do like the context of the apprentice versus apprentice, but they would definitely have to do a lot of retconning to make his power level, like, you know what I mean, like something doable, like, you know what I mean, for somebody like Ahsoka, because we haven't seen anybody in the shows or the movies on like any type of super Jedi, like, you know what I mean, type of like, you know what I mean, power level like that. And so to have him be there, they definitely gotta balance that out some kind of way, because he would be OP. He'd be way too OP.
But it's like my Marvel, you know, I think they can do it because the way like Marvel, oh, these characters are so strong and Thor is this and that. I was like, have you read the comics? Do you know what Thor can do with that hammer?
Right,
like
right. Literally a
like
god. Right.
Yeah, they're kindergartners compared to the comics. You know, they're like, what is like but it doesn't work the other way because DC tries it. Like Superman is, I think he's as
right. Then it goes
OP,
stupid,
and it's like it's boring. Like you know who's gonna win just by like the Zack Snyder cut. You know, he's fighting
that
the
whole
dude
fight
and
with
it's
him and
not even breaking him.
Steppenwolf, him and Steppenwolf
I
was
was like,
whack. I mean, the whole movie was
bro.
whack, but that fight, I was like, dude, there's no stakes here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing like. So okay, Superman's back, and now Trump card. Like, we win. I mean, that's usually how it goes. But I mean, like, like I guess.
Yeah,
no, I mean, they could definitely do it. I mean, it would be nice. I mean, Sam Witwer has pretty much been everywhere he possibly used Star Wars, though. He was in Mandalorian for like 1 or 2 episodes. I know that pretty much every chance he gets for any kind of part in a Star Wars anything, he's pretty much chomping at. Surprised if, you know, he would show up. But I don't know, man, because like if you do that, like you gotta go full on. You can't not, like, you know what I mean, you gotta pay it off. Like, you know what I mean, you gotta go. You gotta give us something. Like, I want to see Galen Merrick. I want to see Starkiller, and they had the reference in, you know, the sequel trilogy with Starkiller Base. Like, you know what I mean, so it definitely could be a thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It has to be Whitmer. It has to be Whitmer. Like, you can't have a Galen.
Oh yeah. It couldn't be anybody else.
I would throw something on my TV. I would break my TV if it's a different face. Like I couldn't. I was like, nah. If it's not him, I'm already changing my mind. Okay, it must be somebody else.
That's just like people like I've seen, like, I don't know if it's jokingly, I would hope so, but people talking about like who would they cast for Cal Kestis live action. I'm like, you're joking, right? Like,
right.
It's a joke, right? But he's another person, man. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up showing up in the show. Speaking of, I was going to get into this. Rosario Dawson did an interview. I don't know if you saw this on like the red carpet, and they were asking her, like, you know, out of all the episodes, does she have a favorite? And she not so subtly kept signaling like episode 5, like with her hands. She's like, I don't know. So, and as a fan, I'm wondering if that's an Anakin cameo. It's clearly going to be some type of, you know, deep cut for the fans or whatever, but she's a fan. I know she, you know, is a big fangirl for Hayden Christensen as Anakin. So, and he's listed as in the show, so I'm assuming they're going to do a flashback or something. But they definitely, where the timeline is, there's definitely room for Cal Kestis to show up at any point during this Heir to the Empire storyline that got going on. And like you said, we could definitely have the reveal of it being Starkiller. Like, I mean, he could be the, you know, reveal that we. I'm happy with either one of those though. But I mean, who do you think it actually is? I mean, it could be Luke showing up too.
It could be Luke, but I'm hoping that it is the Anakin, and I don't want just a flashback. I want either a Force ghost. I would take a Force ghost right now.
With him, that's something that's overdue.
Advice. Yeah, giving her advice, especially. I think the relationship with her and Sabine is gonna be more tense until it gets better, and she's not gonna know what to do. And I think he's gonna go to her like, you know, I should never have taken her as my apprentice. And then Anakin, I felt the same way about you popping up.
Right.
That's all I need. That's all I need. I'm good. Pop that scene up there. I'll press pause.
Right.
I'll go into my room, cry under my sheets, come out. Let's go. I'm ready. I want that.
Right.
Especially for the actor himself, who got so much hate for no reason. The only one who got more hate for him is the kid who played Anakin in Phantom Menace. I was
Jar Jar
he's a kid.
Jar Jar. I was gonna say,
I mean, my best got his.
He got his dude. Yeah, he got his comeuppance. Yeah. That came full circle for him. Couldn't be more proud of that dude, man. I was so happy for him. What's so funny is when he showed up, right? I was like, wait, I know that face. I was like, why do I know that face? And then like I just kept thinking about it, right? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, did they do that? And then like the more it kept going, I was like, oh yeah, no, they did that. They did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Hayden Christensen, I mean, yeah, Hayden Christensen, he definitely got a lot of hate. I mean, episode 3 has been in, you know, unless they get real crazy with, you know, the next couple movies that come out, has been and always will be my favorite Star Wars movie because I literally, that is the only movie I've ever been on the edge of my seat. Like, you know what I mean? Like when him and Anakin, Obi-Wan and Anakin started that fight, man, the Battle of Heroes, I literally was like, oh my God. Like, so,
the best sword fighting scene in movie history. I only have one issue with that movie. I only have one issue with that movie.
All the deleted scenes that we missed?
No, not even that. Not even that. The freaking, I love Ian McCormick, I think his name, the one who played Palpatine, the Emperor. I thought he was amazing as the Emperor for the first 3 movies. Yeah. He was amazing as Palpatine.
Yeah, McDermott.
But when he named Vader, that was probably the worst acting that he had done in his life. And I've seen him do stuff from the BBC and all that stuff, but that was the worst acting because that's not how you were supposed to get the name Vader. It wasn't. I read the novelization of it, the official novelization, and the way it read, I was like, as he was meditating in the Force, the dark side echoed the name out, and then he said it Vader with the guttural. I was like, ooh, because I read the book before the movie came out.
Vader, right.
So when they saw the movie, your name would be Darth.
Okay.
Vader, yeah. What? I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That if it wasn't for that, I would have hated Obi-Wan.
He was like, oh yeah, that's it. That works. We'll go with that. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's
that barely that barely beat. Yeah, that barely beat. Because there was also a line in the book when Kenobi is fighting Grievous, and Grievous was like, "I was trained in your arts by Count Dooku himself."
The Jedi arts.
The original line, the original response from Obi-Wan is, "Yeah, no." The original response that they changed was he was like, "Oh, that's funny. I trained the man who killed him." I was like, "That's a fire line, Obi-Wan. That's fire." And they took it out. I was like, no.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I get it. That's a little dark for Obi-Wan, but in true Obi-Wan fashion, though, that's definitely some stuff he would say, though. That's definitely something he would say.
When he said that, when I read that, I was like, "You're the man!" And then he just, when I got that thing, he didn't say nothing. I was like, I don't care about Hello There anymore. I walked away.
Right. You know, Well, a friend of mine, man, I swear, like, and almost stopped being a friend after this because I was kind of showing her all the Star Wars stuff, getting ready for, I don't know, it wasn't Ahsoka, it was something else that was coming out. But it was Obi-Wan. And ultimately she was like, oh yeah, so like Obi-Wan's a failure. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, you mean the person who's like the epitome of what it means to be a Jedi? Like, yeah, he made mistakes. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, he ain't no failure. I wouldn't say that.
I don't think he made mistakes. I think the council made mistakes. And because he became the face of that, I think he tried his best with Anakin. He didn't blow up his spot about Padme, which he knew for years.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, what was he supposed to do?
Yeah.
He did everything a friend and a mentor could do. I'm gonna let you make your own mistakes, but I'm gonna help you out and I'm gonna love you anyway. They just all got played by a better manipulator, which was Sidious.
Right. I mean, yeah.
He was 10 steps ahead of all of them.
Yeah.
He used the council against themselves.
And no, true. My homeboy Roger has always said that he honestly blames Yoda for how it all went down in Yoda 66. He said that, or his theory is that he's been around long enough that he should have seen this shit coming. Like, you know what I mean? Like that he's been around long enough that, like, yeah, I've either seen the Sith or have, we're close enough to when the last Sith were around that, yeah, this shouldn't be able to get pulled off for this long without me noticing, which to some degree I get that. But I also don't have an exact timeline of Yoda's lifespan as far as like when the last Sith War, you know what I'm saying, ended versus when he came around. That's what I'm saying. It had to be way before that.
It was
way
before him.
That. Because like he's like High Republic era. So like the stuff they're dealing with is like nowhere near as crazy as you know, any type of Sith War or nothing. That's all the old Republic stuff.
It's so past. Yoda's dealing with Sith artifacts. He's not dealing with Sith anymore. He's dealing with dark side artifacts. So it wasn't. I personally blame Mace Windu more than anybody else. His arrogance. He was the most arrogant of the arrogance that covered it up.
Yeah.
And when you get to the end of Clone Wars, there's a part where Maul tells Ahsoka, you've probably seen it, that Sidious is going after Skywalker.
And yeah.
She calls the council. She's like, listen, I have to tell you guys something. And then Mace was like, hold on. We can't talk to you, citizen. This is council business.
Oh, I do remember that.
And then Yoda starts asking, is there anything you wanted to say? And she was like, no, because of his arrogance, she knew anything she said was going to be used against Anakin. So if he would have humbled himself, or not even humble, just be cool, they could have changed, like, come with me as we go to arrest the Chancellor. But
I mean, for all that, I mean, if Anakin just might have held back and just chilled, like, you know what I mean, that could have stopped it all too. Like, you know what I mean, like if he could have just relaxed and just, you know what I mean, just cooled it for like another like 30 minutes, like, you know what I'm saying, like he would have been all right. I mean, because at that point, you know, Mace would have trusted him at that point. Because like, all right, cool, you was telling the truth, like, you know what I'm saying, you didn't come in and do nothing shady, like, you know, cut off my hand and set me up to die, nothing like that. So yeah, you know, I give you the rank of master. So what I've always said is that what should have happened in an ideal world is had that gone down like that, right, and the transition of power from, you know, the Jedi back to the Senate worked out smooth. Anakin would have been honorably discharged with the rank of master, because obviously they would have found out about Padme and all that other stuff. So cool, we'll give you the rank of master, but you can't be a part of the order no more. So cool, now we get a non-Jedi order Anakin with Padme raising Luke and Leia, obviously training them, with Uncle Obi-Wan and Auntie Ahsoka coming to visit every now and again. Like,
I think it would have worked out a little different. I think Padme becomes the new Supreme Chancellor.
Oh, that's good.
I think they have to keep Anakin on the Grand Council. I mean, at the High Council. You have to, because he's part of the thing. Obi-Wan becomes a Grand Master because Mace Windu is gonna have to go. Like, I think
you gotta get rid of Mace.
No. He's still gonna be in the council, but he's not because right now Yoda, they don't let Yoda do it because Yoda, it'll be a dynasty because he lived so long. So that's why you see a lot, he defers to Mace Windu, because technically he's the Grand Master, but Mace is the one that's making the things. I think they will step down
and give it
Mace
to Obi-Wan.
And give it to Obi-Wan. And then after Obi-Wan is when Anakin then becomes Grand Master. Padme retires, and the kids are growing up in one. Obviously, Leia's going to be in politics, and Luke is going to be.
You don't think they both getting trained as Jedi though? I mean, because you know, in all the stories, man, I mean, she's more powerful than Luke is. It's like, so
no, that's Kathleen Kennedy flop. No, she's not. They are equal in the Force. In the original stories, she just never trained.
Strong though. Right,
she never really trained until like, I think when the Emperor Reborn tried to touch her twins. Then she started wanting to train more, but like, listen, you're not messing with my kids. I need to protect these kids. But for the most part, she was the politician, and at one point, she was the Supreme Chancellor. And
no, I remember that.
And he was the Grand Master, and he was starting all these things, and he was.
Yeah, that's why the Jedi Temple all over again.
That's why the Luke from Last Jedi just hurts me, because my guy just like restored everything, like saved the universe, and then you're gonna have him be this. My nephew had a bad dream, so I had to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing about the old EU Luke, man, is that, and even going back before that, even just by Return of the Jedi, especially when you get to the climax when he chooses not to kill Vader, at that point, Luke has mastered the Zen of the light and dark force, which is why the whole symbolism with the black suit, like, you know what I mean, and all the stuff that they deleted with him changing the color of the lightsaber like he's figured it out. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's able to literally balance the Force, which is why he still kind of does the traditional Jedi teachings, but still has its nuances to it, because obviously that's what got everybody killed in the first place. So we're going to do it a little different. Like, but and granted, it still doesn't, go well. You still, have regular, shenanigans that go on.
But that's the Force. Star Wars. You're always going to have that.
You know, it didn't go down, like you said, like that. Luke ain't about to kill his nephew over no bad dream.
Yeah. Have you seen the Sam Witwer clip?
Him trying to kill his nephew over a bad dream, or even just going to attempt to do it.
Yeah, it's too wild. Like, I love Sam Witwer. He did an interview on that, and he spoke about that very thing where he was like, I understand how people say, hold on, the Luke Skywalker that threw his lightsaber down in front of his enemy, who chose to saw the good in his father after he killed millions. All of a sudden, that Luke is going to not only just kill his nephew, he's going to kill his best friend and his sister's son. That's not the same Luke. That's not the
right.
I mean, it was so profound. In his sleep, like, bro.
Yeah.
But that's what Disney is doing.
Yeah, no, that's literally it. I mean, but that's why I love Sam Witwer and him being so involved with as many projects as he can be, because he's such a fan, just like Filoni. Like, you know what I mean? He gets it. Like, you know what I mean? So like anything that he touches, he's bringing the logic to it, as far as like, like that's not how that works, because X, Y, and Z. Same stuff that got Henry Cavill fired. Like, you know what I mean, is the stuff that like we look for in our actors and people in play, man, because I don't know if it's an executive producer or some kind of producer on the show basically said that he was annoying because he was such a hardcore fan. I was like, dude,
because he was making your show better.
What you want,
bro? That's wild.
That's what you
ego.
want. Like,
that's so much ego.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the whole thing. Like, I know me as a fan. That's what I love, when actors get engrossed into the characters or into the material. And for a long time, it usually was happening after the fact, like with Hugh Jackman and Wolverine, or like who was that, Wesley Snipes and Blade. Like, you know what I mean, like after they got the role, like, you know what I mean, now they kind of get attached to it. Like, you know what I mean, like Charlie Cox and Daredevil. Okay, cool. John what's his name, Brenthal and Punisher. Like, you know what I mean, now they're into it because they're into it. But when you get people like Henry Cavill, like, you know what I mean, and like Ryan Reynolds, like, I mean, people who are into it long before it was ever like a thing. Like, let them do their thing, bro. Like, let them work. Like, no, we got to change this, that, and the third. Okay, cool. Okay, you guys heard him, right? Go get the thing. Like,
and you see it in their performances. If you see it in the performance, shut up. He's making you money.
Right.
Your career is going to advance because you're going to get the credit for this amazing job that he's doing. Ride the wave, son. Ride the wave.
Exactly. Just right. Let him cook, man. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
No.
Exactly.
So, I mean, as far as with the Ahsoka show, obviously they're going to bring Thrawn back before it's all said and done. And obviously that's where the big story is going to go. My personal theory, because I guess at this point, Grogu's still like young, but I'm guessing they're going to do some type of Avengers setup with all of the Star Wars characters
Mandoverse,
between this Ahsoka show. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how they're going to set up Sabine, because like I peeped that she didn't pick up any of her Mando armor, but when she runs into Mando and Grogu, and she's like, oh shit, there's Mandos like who are trained in the Force, like, like, I mean, like that could work. And that's something else that kind of bothers me with Star Wars, and it has for a while. Like, with all the technological advancements, it seems like security cameras and holograms, that sort of thing, are like in short supply because it doesn't come up often. And then like being able to just call somebody, like, because the fact that and like Mando and all these people be having to go look for each other, I'd be like, yo, like, y'all can't just be like, yo, where you at? Like, you know what I mean? Like, somebody up, like, I'm about to come check you out real quick.
Light speed is light speed.
To me, like,
gotta lose
that's
some
one
things.
of those things. I'm like, how does if we're kind of both, semi high profile people and we're homies, like, man, check him out real quick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But
They have Verizon in charge of the HoloNet. That costs money. They don't got that bread.
Right.
That's some credits.
Exactly. That's 7,000 credits per minute, bro. Like, make it quick.
Yeah, you know, can't die. Better be important to make that call. But Sabine, I liked her development during the episodes. Like, I was just like, yo, they're.
Oh yeah.
She's obviously going. She obviously, like, I think a lot of these Jedi, like Anakin, PTSD, like crazy. You know, mother died, saw this.
Same thing
Ahsoka,
with Grogu.
Same thing with Grogu. Same thing. I think Sabine. I mean, that's a theme of going through it and then going through the process of healing. So I was like, yo, she's really like jacked up. Like you see it in her face, the way that young lady, I can't remember her name in real life, the way she was acting. I was like, yo, she really has some issues. And then as she's slowly working towards and decides to face her problems, I was like, and I love the character from the Rebels. And I was like, you know, when she started getting her armor, I was like, oh, you better rock that lightsaber with that helmet. Go ahead. And like when she put it on, and I was like, go ahead, man, let's go. Let's go meet up with some Mandalorians. Because you know, I think episode 5 is also going to have a Katie Sackhoff appearance. I think Lady Bo-Katan is going to be there as well.
That'd be dope. Oh yeah, because she's definitely, you know, semi part of the crew, kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
but that's my whole thing, though, man. Like, you got Bo-Katan, like, you know what I mean, like, as a connecting tissue, like, come on. I mean, I'm always for the team up in the crossover, though. I'm always looking for, because I'm like, yo, there's no reason you shouldn't do it, man. Have it happen. Have it meet up, like.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be. I think that's gonna be really.
Like,
great.
I was geeked just to see. Yeah, like I was geeked just to see Ahsoka and Luke together for those couple minutes. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, dude, like, the only thing that I didn't like about it is I had so many questions that I wanted him to ask. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, okay, like, so I need you to just, like, you know what I mean? Start asking about your dad, bro. Ask about your dad. Like, I need the stories to happen, man. Like,
whoa, slow it down. That's pillow talk.
Right.
Slow it down, because they definitely had some energy going on. I was like, for real? I mean, all right, Cougar syndrome. Let's go. I ain't hating on the man, but I was like, y'all really hinting at that? Because they were really hinting at that hard.
You think so? You think so?
I think the knowing looks, the glares, the this and that. I was like, all right, listen, I ain't judging. It was, the cameo was amazing. I hope we see Luke in this as somebody, even if it's like a beacon call at the end to set up the Filoni movie. Like you said, like she getting in contact and like, to all my friends, you know, we need, you know, boom, Luke Skywalker gets it. You know, even if they see the, you know, the communicator lights up before they tap to get the message, do one with Luke, do one with Bo-Katan, do one with Mando, do one with Boba Fett. You know, everybody who's around, like, all of them. I'm like, yes. I'll be happy with those scenes. Like, Star Wars fans, we don't need a lot. Give us something that's good and cohesive.
Right.
Because
An
we
actual story.
Because the expanded universe was always cohesive. Somebody will pop into a book, page 250. Hey, Lando's back. How did this happen? I don't care. He's here. Let's read. And that, it was dope.
Right.
Keep that energy.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm always a big sucker. Yeah, I'm always a big sucker for the crossovers and connecting tissue. And in all honesty, that it's kind of helped me adopt the mentality that the only canon that really matters is the head canon. Like,
absolutely.
Like, because I did that with the old, you know, the DC cartoons, like, I mean, like with the TAS stuff, like, because with the animated movies, you know, after that, before they did the New 52, I'm like, all right, so here's where this movie fits in, like, you know what I mean, here's where that one fits in, like, you know what I mean, like, I was doing that all the time, man, because, you know what I mean, you gotta do that, like, you know what I mean, because this stuff was good, like, you know what I mean, and there wasn't always connecting tissue, but, like, you know what I mean, as a fan, you know it's there, like, you know what I mean, you're like, okay, bet, like, those are the, you know what I mean, like, yeah, I got it. But yeah, no, man, I'm hoping that with this Mandoverse movie and with the Ahsoka show, I'm really hoping that they pay off a lot of the stuff they're setting up with Revan, or just the Old Republic. But I mean, obviously Revan, like I think, because Filoni said that they only could save a few old EU characters, which I'm assuming is Starkiller, Revan, Mara Jade, and they'll probably do it's not Malgus, and not Exar Kun. What's the old guy, the most powerful Sith Lord?
Valkyrie? Oh,
No,
the most powerful one was Naga
yeah.
Nagasera,
The one from the one from the
Jedi Academy.
Ewoks. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, so
Oh
I could
no,
see
I'm
you
sorry.
doing something like that.
Marka Ragnos.
Ragnos, yeah,
That's
Marka
which one.
Ragnos. There you
Ragnos
go.
is
That goes.
yeah.
So I mean, like, if you're gonna save like only a few EU characters, that's really all I'm looking for, right? Because clearly we're not going down the Jason and Jaina route. Like, you know what I mean? We're not doing that. Like, you know what I mean? So
Terrible.
okay, cool.
That's terrible.
I mean, honestly, I mean, to go on a side note with the movies, the sequel to the sequel trilogy, and Rey, kind of doing the Jedi Academy thing. The only interesting thing I really think we can truly get out of that, because I don't think they're gonna try to redeem any of the stuff from the story that we already got. They're not gonna fix her and Finn romance. They're not gonna do that because they were cowards.
Yeah.
But the only interesting thing they could do is put a adolescent sized Grogu fully trained up in the Force and as a Mando to show up at Rey's Academy. And obviously, based on the lack of communication in the galaxy, she would have no idea who this is. Like, I mean, she just sees some 3 foot tall Mandalorian, like, you know what I mean? And they get to sparring or whatever. And all of a sudden, you know what I mean? He pulls out a lightsaber. Like, you know what I mean? And she's like, oh, okay, that's different. Like, you know what I mean? And then to see them two kind of go on whatever adventure they're going on and whatever crew they got, that could be fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because now you got two, Mary Sue type characters, like, who can basically do anything. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, obviously you're gonna put them in some scenarios they're gonna be outlandish because, like, you know what I mean, they're superheroes. Like, you know what I mean? So
you can do a Vong invasion. I think this story now, the other galaxy.
Yeah. It's definitely
somebody can come back and say, hey, yeah, there was this, we have this lost civilization, but they said they left. Where did they go to? I'd be like, that's the Rey movie. Give me, take my money. Let's go. I don't even, just take it. But again, are they going to do that? Are they going to be smart enough to say, listen, these classic stories it's not ours, but we need to adapt it because this is what people want to see. Instead of trying to force feed us these stories that, I'm not a big fan of the sequels, but I didn't think they were terrible, except for maybe
no, they definitely have good moments.
They have
I've always
qualities.
said that they got good moments.
Yeah, they have redeemable qualities.
They're not exactly. There's at least one scene in each movie where I'm like, yo, that's fire. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I know in the first one, when Kylo stops the blaster, like, you know what I mean, midair, like, like, even now, like, they put it in games now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is a standard now because of that. Like, like,
you don't have the Force if you can't stop that.
Right. I mean, hell, even Finn being able to best Kylo, like, I thought that was a big character moment for me. I was like, dude, like, he don't even know how to use this lightsaber, but he just, you know what I mean, got to lick it on Kylo Ren, like on Ben Skywalker. Like,
that kind of got me thinking. I was like, okay,
I'll take that.
He has some Force sensitivity. He has some Force sensitivity. That was for me, that was a big clue. I was like, listen, you're not doing that on natural strength.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Like, I know they hint at it later, but I was like,
in all honesty, I thought the story hinted at him and Poe, along with Rey, being all Force sensitive. Like, because obviously with the piloting skills that Poe has, like, he clearly, like, because he was an ace within the first 10 seconds on that scene when they took Rey. Like, you know what I mean? He killed like 6 people in like 10 seconds. I was like, all right, so I get that he's good, but that's really good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then the same thing with Finn. Obviously, he has some type of connection to the Force. And I feel like they were, for one, they didn't have a story. So they missed a lot of opportunities, and they got scared of a lot of, backlash, I guess, from the snowflakes and, you know what I mean, whoever else was going to complain about, having, characters of color, you know what I mean, be Jedi, or, like, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, be the star of the movie, you know what I mean, besides, the British girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, and I get it. Like, I did not complain about Rey. I had no issue with Rey as a character. I thought she was cool. I like Daisy Ridley, but the whole thing was just very underdeveloped, and it was just a mess because they didn't have a plan. They didn't have a plan. And Star Wars is something that you have to have a story for, and without a story, it's not Star Wars. It could be any other generic sci-fi movie you want to make, which is cool. Like, I mean, I like generic sci-fi movies. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But Star Wars has to be, a thing. Like, you know what I mean? It has to be structured. It's got to have a story to it. It's got to have characters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, without that stuff, I mean, what are we doing here? We're wasting time and money.
Yeah, when was it Ryan Johnson?
I definitely think he was good though. But so, out of all the characters that we have talked about, who do you think? Oh man, don't even get me started with him. Because he basically took everything that JJ did with the first movie and was like, yeah, none of that stuff's important. And it was like, all right. And then JJ came back and was like, actually, yeah, no, some of that stuff is important. And it was like,
so bad, right. So inconsistent.
Like, and then even to the point where I heard Daisy in them. It's so funny to hear all the actors talk about it now, about how nobody knew what was going on. Like, and she was like, yeah, we didn't even know how it was going to end until we were shooting it. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, Star Wars, you don't know how it's going to end? Like, I mean, you hear Freddie Prinze Jr. and, all these other people, they can tell you, hey, look, there's a formula to it. I can tell you how it ends. Like,
you guys
like,
could
literally they all have the same beats, dude. Like, it literally dictates. It dictates. The worst tragedy of it all is the fact that Lucas gave them the Bible on what to do.
Yeah.
The same thing happened with Akira Toriyama in the Dragon Ball Z movie, which is even more.
Please, let's not talk about that.
Tragedy.
Let's not. I bought the Blu-ray when it was like $1.99 to punish myself. Whenever I feel like I'm not doing that, I deserve to. I pop it in. I just watch it, and I just cringe all the way through. If there was an extended cut, I would buy it to make myself suffer more. That's what I do. That's my penance.
I saw something with Justin Chatwin in it the other day. Oh, it was War of the Worlds, and I was telling a friend of mine, I was like, hey, that's the guy who played Goku, and he was like, that is the guy who played Goku, and I was like, yeah, you didn't see him in much after that. And then I had to think, I was like, actually, no, he bounced back after that. It took him a while, but he bounced back. He had a couple
did he do Shameless? He did Shameless afterwards or before?
Right. It was after. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He bounced back. He bounced back. But also I can see that Shameless was probably something that when you first join it, you don't think it's really going to be what it became. You're like, it's just a Showtime show, or whatever. Like, why not? Like,
nice paycheck.
It's like, oh wow. But then he was also in this. I can't remember the name of the show. He was in this sci-fi show with Katie Sackhoff about these like aliens coming to Earth and them having to go out and try to find them. It was actually pretty good. I can't remember. It's like 2 seasons. I think it's on Netflix. I have to send it to you when I find it. But it was pretty good. I definitely have become a big Katie Sackhoff fan. I like her a lot. She's very nice. I
like
Bay Katan. Oh yeah. Bay Katan. Yeah, bro. She's very nice. But
Starbuck.
But yeah, man.
Always be Starbuck for me.
Right, exactly.
Always.
Exactly.
Always.
But yeah, so who do you think, though, wrapping it up, who do you think is most likely to kind of show up in the Ahsoka show out of all the characters that we talked about? Who do you think is going to be somebody, hopefully from the EU that you think we might get? Even if it's a reference, because obviously they wouldn't give us Revan in Ahsoka.
Yeah. I think
you could even include the Ezra and everybody from like Rebels and stuff. Because obviously Ezra's gonna show up, obviously.
Yeah, he has to. I just hope it's not Merrick, just because that's lazy writing. Like it would just be lazy. It'd be so easy. I think, bro, come on, get out of here. But I think Revan is definitely gonna be.
Which is why I think we expect it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see Malik. I think they're gonna mention Revan a lot.
Ooh.
But I think because they originally went to the unknown regions and then they came back as Sith. So I think we can see. I think we're gonna see like the metal, at least the metal chin, the metal mask that he had. I think that is a way to say Revan without saying Revan. Because when you see that metal jaw, you'll be like,
yeah, or Revan's mask, yeah. Oh yeah, the
like
both
Revan
of them, yeah. I mean,
Revan.
Yeah. So yeah, because I mean, like I said, the star map was definitely a big clue for me outside of everything else that they've been kind of setting up for him. But the star map, I was like, dude, that's literally right out of Knights of the Old Republic. Like, you know what I mean? Like
the Exile.
That's literally it.
That's my bet. The Exile, Mitra Sertic. I think we're gonna. I think we might see. I think we might hear about that. We're gonna hear something because they're already talking about Exile already. Thrawn is exiled. This is exiled. I think they're gonna bring this. They've said it like 18 times. I was like, he's not really exiled. You know, this dude, Ezra beat the brakes off of him and sent him someplace else. Like, that's not an exile. That's taking an L. That's taking an L. Like, as much as I love Thrawn, he took a wild L.
A big L.
So I'm thinking, but they keep on mentioning exile and his exile. And I was like, I think they may do a little flashback of Mitra, because at the end of KOTOR 2, she goes to the unknown regions.
Right. And they've introduced the Night Sisters too.
And if I can see the Ebon Hawk on another planet, I'm gonna be all right. I'll be all right. I'll be good.
If they throw the Ebon Hawk in there anywhere, I mean, because that's the thing, right? For all of that, if they're gonna throw in Revan, ultimately what I've said, like the cameos would be cool and the references are nice, but truth be told, because we have the game already, let me see the Mandalorian War and Revan up until they go, like when they right before they go to the unknown regions, like, you know what I mean, like end it with basically the game starting, like where the game starts, like where Malik betrays him, like, I mean, let me see them recruiting all these Jedi and going to fight the Mandalorians, like let me see the rise of Revan. Like that's a movie, like, you know what I mean, like a Jedi going up against the Order, like, you know what I mean, and basically doing the right thing and being labeled, you know what I mean, like a Sith, like, you know what I mean, because I didn't do what you wanted me to do.
What they were trying to do to Anakin, what the council was trying to do to Anakin. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
Real quick, because I know you said we're gonna bounce soon. R.I.P. for my man Ray Stevenson, who blew me away in this episode. He is one of my favorite actors, and I was just like, I feel a tenderness from him, like when he talks to his apprentice. I feel the menacing. I was like, yo, this dude is not a Sith. Like whatever he is, he may be misguided, but he has good reasons to like not be a Jedi, but not be a Sith. It's like, no, we have to balance. Like the way he does it, I was like, when Disney starts selling the Balin Skull lightsaber, orange lightsaber, automatically it's done. Automatic. I already told my wife, baby, I love you. We buying this. Orange is my color. That's my jam.
Right.
I need that lightsaber. And then looking at it up close, when Howard Young
in the hologram,
I was like, yo, that lightsaber does look like a broadsword. The way he moved it, I was like, that's a fighting style that doesn't exist. Technically, there's only 7.
Right.
There is no broadsword. It's more like he said. He did an interview. He's like, all the 7 lightsaber styles are really samurai style. This is like a knight from the medieval times. I was like, he created his own. He created his own lightsaber style. I want to see them fight. I want to see them fight just for that style.
Yeah. Nah, that's gonna be hard. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, no, definitely Ray Stevenson did his thing with this, man. It definitely is a shame that his passing, and condolences to him and his family and everything. But his performance will definitely be eternal, man, because this is definitely going to be one of the best pieces of Star Wars that we have gotten in a long time. So he would definitely be immortalized in all of his work, but definitely in a galaxy far, far away for sure.
Absolutely.
Will, man, thank you, bro. I appreciate you. I definitely gonna have you on here again. If anything, I'll probably have you on here either next Tuesday or Wednesday, bro. After Ahsoka episode comes out and we talk about it, because I think we got to do this again, man, because this was good. I appreciate you, man, for taking the time out to do this with me. We definitely got to do it again, man.
Anytime you need me, man, just call me. You already know, bro.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Got you, man. No, most definitely. Well, thank you guys for whoever is watching this. And this has been us. Check you later.
God bless. Later.
There you go. And it. All right, well.